Hello and welcome. If you don't know me, I'm Mercy, the Game Master here at the Monsters, and we're back with another Working Wednesday stream. I'm not feeling super great today, so might be a little bit lower energy than normal, but that's okay because this is more of a co-working and hang out together stream. So if you're not familiar with the show, the format is we put 30 minutes on the clock. We work for about that long. We take a 5-minute break. We come back. We put 30 minutes on the clock. We work for about that long, and then we get out of here. At least that's the hope. I do often run a little bit long, but the goal is to try to be fairly tight to the timeline to stay focused and work within those bounds. Because as we all know, especially if you're a DM or a GM, it can be easy for tasks to balloon beyond the originally expected proportion. So that's the goal: 60 to 90 minutes of good focused work, and then out of here. Hello, Potato. Thank you for being here as well. Kale and Stardust, appreciate you. You don't have to be a DM or GM to be here. Lots of people use the show as an opportunity to catch up on dishes or other chores they need to do or whatever. You are more than welcome. I will still be responding to chat, so it's not a true co-working stream in that way. But if you just want to lurk it out and enjoy hearing somebody chatter along with you while you get something done, you are more than welcome. A couple of really quick updates on the things. Ring Chronicles had their session 5 on Monday, 2 days ago, and we've already got their session video uploaded, which I'm really excited about. And the hope upon hope. This has taken longer than I had intended, but I suppose this is the way with making videos. But the super secret project should be going up on Friday. That is my hope. So I'm very, very excited about that. Make sure you have your notifications on. And I think that's it. Get to work. You very much are on time, Potato. Thank you. In fact, Lumia hasn't even hollered at us yet that the stream is now live. It's actually kind of interesting. Usually that's within the first like couple minutes as I'm doing the intro. You think Twitch is being weird? Well, that would be even weirder if Twitch was being weird and you were watching this on Twitch, since this is a YouTube stream. Oh, okay. You mean you're trying to do something there?
YouTube stream is now live.
You're trying to do something on Twitch while you have this up. Gotcha. Got it. Actually, while you're here, Rocket, Elf, right? Trying to be relatively spoiler free. I know for the other one. Okay. It just occurred to me that I forgot to actually mark down some of those things. Ooh, and you know what? Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, I already know one of the ways in which our scope might balloon a little bit here, but I need to get Alendite some information. Well, it's more like you have one on retainer, you know? Okay. The session notes are going to be a bigger thing than I was thinking, so we're not going to start with that. We're going to start with XP because that's easier to get done and get marked off and move on from. Because the session notes also, I think, are going to create some new tasks for us. So we'll do XP and name the tavern, and then we'll go back to the session notes. Party folder, original party, XP tracker. One that's expendable one you can make come with you because you got one at home. that would probably be a pretty hard sale to get them to come with you, but I suppose if you really wanted to, you could try. Okay. Yeah, that too. Pixie, you should ask Pixie about Nilmon sometime. The short version is Nilmon was a half elf tween that had been in the care of so in the previous campaign, in this campaign setting, Nilmon was an NPC half elf tween who had been under the care of one of the party members' sisters, and that sister had disappeared, and so the party member felt responsible, and instead of just like paying for a new caregiver or something, the solution was to bring him on adventures with them. Yeah, it created some interesting complications. The party loved Nilmon. He actually did survive, but not without great risk on behalf of the party in many situations. Hi, Amras. How are you? Good to see you. Right, right, Kale. I was pleasantly surprised and pleased for them. I mean, it's kind of hard. So I guess there's a bit of an asterisk on it because they never did get him back home. They embarked on an adventure that they knew was going to take a while, but ended up taking even longer than expected. And then they got through kind of like main phase 1 of that, and then there was kind of like a second main phase before they would have gotten like to where they were expecting to be the resolution of Nilmon's travels. And then that was when the campaign ultimately came to an end. Promise your daughter do a splits comp. Oh, good luck. Boblin the Goblin didn't even survive on the way home. Yeah, this is the way. Man, there was a lot of good role playing in the last session. Like, I don't know if there's anybody in particular to call out, but I felt like everybody did a really good job. Probably the least screen time was Druge, but also I don't think that he did a bad job or anything. So I don't think he gets less XP for that. I think he actively contributed to the role play of the session. I also, in general, do want to try and get in the habit of doing the XP a little bit closer to when we played. But I think especially for roleplay heavy sessions, it's going to be really hard to go back and call out, like one specific moment of like, oh, this thing that you said to this NPC, like that was extra good. Sometimes, yes, but I think a lot of times that's going to be a bit of a fool's errand. So we all sound like Rubato. Yeah, not so you can all develop your own unique voices, but so you can all sound like Rubato. I think, I mean, if anybody, and don't necessarily type in chat here, you can message me in Discord. If anybody thinks of anything in specific that either you or anybody else did that should be called out for a small XP bonus, we'll do that. But I think, at least for the moment, I'm just going to go with max session XP. I do have a follow-up message also, actually, that I need to send to Amras. So, I mean, again, enjoy your splits competition or whatever. You can read this whenever, but... he did most of his stuff at the start. Yeah. I mean, we circled back around to him with the scene with his mom. But yes, he had like a fairly lengthy scene at the beginning, and then a fair amount of downtime, and then like a moderate length scene most of the way through. I think he was okay with it, though. I mean, I don't think there's any like hard feelings or anything. He's generally one, like, he enjoys being there and being along for the ride. At least that's you know, that's my impression / that's what he said in the past. The closet thing with Amras was pretty good. Well, yes and no. That's actually what I need to message him about. I think it was a fun scene. I'm trying to think how to mention it on here without potentially being spoilery. I think the overall like intent and content of the conversation is potentially oath breaking. I need to go back and look at that. A knight of the realm swears the following oath. I, name, do solemnly swear upon my honor to dedicate my life to my kingdom. I pledge to uphold the ideals of knighthood and serve my liege with valor, integrity, and unwavering courage. In times of war, I will be a sword, standing at the forefront of battle, fearless and indomitable. I will face the enemy with unyielding resolve and lead my comrades with dignity and honor. In times of peace, I shall be an envoy, fostering unity among the realm and forging alliances that ensure the prosperity and harmony of our kingdom. I swear to protect the realm and its subjects, shield the innocent from harm, and defend the weak against all forms of injustice. I shall be a beacon of hope, the embodiment of justice, and an unwavering guardian of the realm's tranquility. So swear I, name, may my every deed echo this solemn oath. I mean, serving your liege does, I feel like, also very strongly imply your liege's laws. Like, laws are just like orders from your liege in perpetuity. Speaking of which, actually having that open, here's a bunny trail, but this will be a quick one. I need to go and copy the Knight of the Faith oath, because I have a document of the oaths. And that would be an expectation for a knight. Yes. Even if I think it wasn't essentially already covered in the language, as Vincent pointed out. That is like one of the points of knighthood. Now the thing with the Knight of the Faith is it was a little bit less of a start to finish oath like that and more of a ceremony. But That's another one of those things that I would love to go back and like generate a bunch of art for and get a voice actor to read and like make a separate video for. Rosalind's anointing. I think Rosalind will require an attitude adjustment over time. Why was she able to get such a result from the oaths? Just her faith. I'm curious. Can you expand a little bit more on kind of your like what you think would be the adjustment there, and then I can fill in a little bit. I don't know if I phrased that very well. Does that make sense? Her actions in the square seem like she might get a punishment, not a boon. So I think, and I'm curious to hear your feedback here. But part of what I was going for is kind of create, pardon the pun, but like a bit of a separation between church and state potentially, right? So, the argument over honors would be like more of a like a cultural legal issue, right? Whereas her like anointing is more of a spiritual issue. It's just the two things happening so closely together. Yeah, no, I get that. And anybody else that's here, like I'd be curious to hear your thoughts as well. Again, or to I expand, I guess, not again. Part of the reason that I portrayed it that way, well, twofold. One was a functional issue. We were running late. We had already started the scene, and it didn't make sense. Like, it was going to drag everything out too far to split those scenes out across two different sessions and potentially, across like multiple in-game days. That was part of it. And then like part of again kind of like what I was trying to convey there was that it was also a bit of a Hail Mary on Rosalind's part. So she kind of ran her mouth. I mean, like, admittedly, she felt justified in doing so, but she kind of ran her mouth and then was like, like, you can't judge me. Like, this is beyond your judgment. And so it was kind of her like leveraging her church connection to like help solve her like not necessarily legal problem. That's not, it's not like she wasn't necessarily going to get like arrested, but like, so kind of like falling back on her position and like taking the risk of like, I'm going to perform this ritual to like see like if it doesn't work out for me, I'm no worse off than I am now, and if it does work out for me, then like I'm probably at least kind of like legally untouchable for a little while. Faithful are still fallible people, and not everyone can stay on the straight path without. Right? Oh, absolutely. And that's also part of what I don't know why I keep saying again. Sorry, that's like my filler word today, I guess. But that's kind of what I'm going for with her as well, which is there are many paths to goodness, and not all people, even that are goodly, can be goodly at all times. And also, there's nothing that she did that was like it's kind of funny, right? Goodly is a word, but badly isn't really an antonym. But like nothing that she did was badly, if you will, right? Like she didn't do anything to like violate her goodliness or or anything like that. So and that's part of the reason why the Church of Bana is separated into, almost kind of like its own micro pantheon, is different people are going to serve like the cause of peace in different ways. So an Inquisitorius can be good, is what you hear. Well, hi, T-Bomb. Ironically, we are talking politics, just D&D politics. So, no, but also yes. And I know you're just joking, but it's kind of funny because that's literally what we're talking about. So yeah, I guess mainly what I was asking, Vincent, was if your if your criticism was of her actions, like within world, like I don't agree with the way that she is going about things, or if you had criticisms about her character, like I don't think the way that you are portraying her is like, right, or like fits within the world well. And it sounds to me like the feedback is more of that you have criticism of her actions, not of the character that I created, which is fine if you do have criticisms of the character, but that's what I was kind of delving deeper on. Criticism of in-game apps. Okay, yeah. So I like I said, I would have appreciated either criticism, but it's good to have the clarity of kind of like exactly what it is that we're talking about. So Inquisitorius can be good. So maybe, but like I said, the because an Inquisitor would define their actions as being in the pursuit of goodness, right? But I would argue that the actions, if you take like the Spanish Inquisition or whatever, like their actions were evil, even if their alleged intent was good. Like I would still say that an Inquisitor behaving in that way would be evil. On BRB. I don't know if you heard my answer that or not. That's unfortunate timing. And yes, to expand on Rosalind a tiny bit more. Hello, Nololol. Is she's our gateway. And I'm fairly happy with how I did it. The scene, like I said, it was a little bit squished just because of the logistics of where we were in the session and what time of day it was, IRL. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy with how that went. And she's our foothold into politics in the kingdom. If that, I think probably most people get that, right? I mean, Bridget sort of was, but like Bridget's bad at it. So Bridget was kind of like the step zero, right? It was kind of like, and the scene at the end of the prologue with the nobles and all that. And then Rosalind brings up the actual political conflict of the kingdom, which is the kingdom. It's not an absolute monarchy. For anybody who doesn't know that. Do I have something up where I can type in chat? This Enola is sick. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry to hear that. Is it world info? Does that work here? That's weird. Hold on. Chatbot not doing what I thought. Oh, it's D&D info. She's more of a warrior than an ambassador or diplomat. Yes. Really kind of true of both Bridget and Rosalind, just in slightly different ways. But yes to both. So anyway, there's the public Google Drive folder for anybody who doesn't know. But yeah, the short version is the kingdom is not an absolute monarchy. There is a king, but the king does not have absolute power. The kingdom is actually ruled by like councils of 3. So at the highest level, I'm drawing a blank on what the name that I have for it, but at the highest level, the king is, or the kingdom is like ruled over by the collective vote of the king, the high priest, which just broadly the whole church, but specifically the high priest, and the council of barons. So like if the council of barons and the high priest vote one way on an issue, then the king is overruled. Similarly, there are 3 baronies. So the Council of Barons is in and of itself an additional trifecta that then collectively comes up with one vote. So oftentimes the politics will involve 2 of the 3, depending on what the issue is, 2 of the 3 baronies aligning, and sometimes all 3, right? But whatever, 2 to 3 of the baronies align on an issue, and then they collectively cast their vote to the ruling council. Monarchy oligarchy mix. I honestly don't know what the exact term for it would be. I know that like an absolute monarchy is a thing, like that is a term, and so presumably to the opposite, it's possible to have a non-absolute monarchy. So I don't know if that's the term, or I don't know exactly what it would be called, but yeah, maybe. Sort of, but yeah, the Senate in Rome, like that was a governing body, right? Like before we got into Imperial Rome, the Roman Republic, they only had dictators. Like a dictator was a temporary position, 6 months, I think. You were elected, or chosen at least, by the Senate to be a dictator, and then you had a term, you had an emergency term as dictator, and then you passed that back to the Senate. So I don't know if that's quite the right comparison either, because like there's always a monarch. It's just that the monarch's power is not absolute. Maybe constitutional monarchy because of other votes and laws put forth by the collective powers. Yeah, I would be curious. I'd love to connect with somebody that actually knows like poli-sci or whatever to find out what the actual term is. Maybe. That's probably closer, at least. I mean, I think constitutional monarchy is like technically what like a lot of the Commonwealth states are, right? I think that's the term. And that doesn't really fit either. Okay, well, I don't know then. There's something itching on like the outside of my nose that I'm trying to itch without looking like I'm picking my nose on camera. I cannot quite get it. Well, maybe I did finally. Okay, let's come up with a tavern name really quickly. And then we'll go on break. And then we'll come back and deal with the notes issues. I'm open to suggestions. I'll also probably pull up some random tavern generators and see if we come up with anything fun that way. But here's a good chance to make your mark on the world. Because the tavern that the party goes to in like, you know, at least 25%, if not more of their sessions, we've never named it. It's always just like we, you know, go to the tavern, which I think is fine. I don't even think that breaks verisimilitude, right? Like, if you have a favorite watering hole, you're not always going to use its proper name. You're not always going to be like, let's go to the Gold Dragon Inn. You're just going to be like, all right, see you there. The only thing the royalty does is sign your bills after the decision's made. Not oh, okay. That makes sense. So yeah, that probably wouldn't be it either then. And then also I needed to message Amras. Amras. I mean, there is more than one tavern, but you guys pretty much always mean the same one when you talk about it. But I do think that we should come up with an actual name for it. Okay. The Tavern Inc. But the name is The Tavern. That's actually pretty fun. Next session by here is going to go to some random one and be like, you guys didn't say what one. Well, I mean, funnily enough, this came up because you actually did specifically go to a different tavern last time, right? You said you wanted like a dive bar. Oh, Donjon still has its random tavern generator. That's awesome. It just automatically generated one immediately. Oh no, I clicked and then it's gone. Apparently that regenerated it. Crap. The first one it came up with was the Cursed Axe. Well, not the first one, but the first one now that I've accidentally clicked and gotten rid of the other one. Location is in a residential ward known for its devout residents that stands adjacent to the shop of a female halfling moneylender named Mara. The inn is a simple wooden shack with a dirt floor covered in straw. Accommodations consist of several wooden cots in the cellar. Blah, 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 blah. The menu is boiled beetroot, boiled peas, stewed watercress, buckwheat bread, and bitter cheese, etc., etc., etc. Donjon's great. I forgot completely about this. It might be more of a Pluto oligarchy beneath the rule of a select few, and those. Maybe, but I think oligarchy, like specifically as a term, it like is a transitive thing, right? Like you can join and or leave the oligarchy via the the acquisition of wealth, and that isn't really true here because they'd have to they are specifically barons, right? Which is like a political position. Sorry to double check something there really quickly. The thirsty chest, broken sword, the shepherd and mace. The pirate's inn. No. The Maiden's Tavern, the Bloody Dagger, the Sage's Alehouse, the Beggar and Tankard. I don't like any of the names though, which is mainly what I wanted here. Ooh, the Crossed Candles. That's a nice alliteration. Kind of a cool sounding name. I didn't know that you were practicing violin. That's cool. But also, crossed candles is kind of weird. Like, what does that even mean? Why are the candles being crossed? The welcoming dive bar should be called the drinking den. I actually do like that. That's not the one that we're trying to come up with the name for right now, but I actually do quite like drinking den. Ooh, I like this one. The Fool and Flask. Yeah, Donjon's great if you guys don't already know about it. All sorts of generators. So it gives, actually maybe it's easier for me to just show. Meh. It gives you can set the type of inn and the type of patrons that it has, and it gives you a location, a description, an innkeeper, a menu, 5 noteworthy patrons, and a number of rumors that your adventurer might discover there. I mean, Donjon has all sorts of other random generated stuff, but that's the tavern generator there. Yeah, the Fool and Flask. I think we're going to use that. I like it. D&D world building capstone. Make a new section here. Taverns. Main tavern is the, what did I say, the Fool and Flask. You're watching the live stream in 15 minutes delay. Oh dear. Yeah, you might need a refresh. So there's a mix of feudalism in there, even with the share. Yes. What was the other one? The drinking den. Yeah. I'm totally putting that in there as well. I like the drinking den and also the nickname of the den. Also, I'll throw the Donjon site in chat in case anybody here or watching the video, or like rewatching the broadcast later is like, wait, what? That sounds cool. There we go. Okay. I will catch up. Actually, I'll just read it now. We gave XP. We named the tavern. Well, I should probably send that name to the party. Is there fishing within Capstone Lake? Yeah, absolutely. Is just eating an entire bag of grapes a good supper? I would not say that. No. Okay. I sent a follow up thought to you there in Discord, Amras, when you have a chance. I'm gonna take our oh my gosh, phone again. I'm gonna take our stretch break here. If y'all haven't been up and around, how are we doing? Ooh, 45 minutes. Okay, we're on the long end. If you haven't been up and around a little bit, I recommend that you take a few minutes, get up, get some water, get your blood pumping, move your legs. We'll be back here in about 5 minutes. And then we'll get back to it and start working on the second half of our to-do list here. So thank you for being here. If you haven't had a chance yet, don't forget to give the live stream a like. That way, exactly, Stardust beat me to it. Thank you, thank you. That way YouTube knows to show our content to new folks. And I'll catch y'all in a minute. Thank you, Stardust. Huzzah! Oh! Hello, Telwyn. I'm very sorry about the timing there. Hopefully I didn't miss you. Catching up on the rest of the chat there. Do you know what's funny when you're awake and browsing Facebook Reels at 2 a.m. and I have no idea what to show you and you get a bunch of random stuff like lots of cats? Yes! This is the way. Emra said, I'm starting to think that the internet and algorithms are broken and breaking and making the once unfathomably large internet into a very small, dull place. Until one said, like dead internet theory. I think very similar, yes. Dead internet theory is also super interesting if you guys have never looked into it. Similar, but not specifically dead internet theory, is also the theory of the digital dark age that we currently live in, which is that like very few permanent records are being created right now. And, you know, nobody's going to go back and go through. Yeah, I mean, a lot of digital data just is simply lost, like literally. But even if it's not, like, who's going to go back through, you know, your old inbox that had 100,000 unread emails in it or whatever? Like, nobody. It just seems like the internet was bigger and had more to it back in the aughts and tens, and now it's just YouTube, Amazon, Quora. Oh God, Quora. Whatever ads pay to be in the top spot. I do wonder how much of that is algorithmic and how much of that is habitual. Right. It's funny that you say that because like when I run out of reading the same subreddits that I usually read, then I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing left on the internet to look at tonight while I'm trying to go to bed. It's like, wait, but hold on, that's not true. Also appreciate you being here, Telwyn. I always love to hear how people find us. I'm assuming it was a random YouTube rec, but this is a D&D working stream, but you don't have to be here for D&D. We're happy to have most other conversations. We don't really get into politics or ideology, not that you have been, but just as a FYI. But otherwise, you know, happy to chat about whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be D&D related. Just that's what I'm working on while we're here hanging out, and glad to have you here with us. Also, Amras, you're welcome to either respond vaguely here or respond in our Discord DMs. But what did you think of a suggestion kind of like that? You do lots of game design stuff, probably why the algorithm pushed you here. Oh, great! Heck yeah! If/when I ever end up in a space where I'm not working in content creation, game design is I think where my passion would be. I love that. I've designed, you know, I know there's a lot of different capacities in game design, but I love especially like UX for game design. But my guess would be that our passions would align significantly. I'd love to hear about any of your projects, but if you're just looking to chill, that's also totally fine. I'm in the wrong folder. That's why I was like, where are my session notes? Also possible and not so minor downside / difficulty playing the undead vampire spawn that you're messing around about if you spend more than an hour in sunlight.
Ninja Nolan is the first chatter and has been first 10 times.
I don't have my headset on and I'm afraid I don't hear the alert. Oh, it's a Nola. Anola playing with our lights in Twitch chat. Which we're not multi-streaming right now, I guess, for clarity's sake. But of course, your Twitch chat is always on, so people can go to the Twitch chat and trigger the light things. That does put a bit of a wrench into things, yes. I think something similar could be accomplished with like the bloodline and whatnot. Of course, then you are straying closer and closer. Oh, excuse me. The soda I had catching up with me. You are straying closer and closer to the other now defunct character that we talked about. Lumia is there, but not here, surprisingly. Which is weird because Lumia is in Twitch chat. But probably what it is I think those some of those commands should work. Like !red in YouTube should work, I think. The basic ones. The stuff like rip or bears or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Won't work. Because those are for super supporters and it wouldn't have any way to identify you as that in this chat. Season 1 session notes. Okay, this is where it's going to get really messy. So I have last session's notes were huge. Like it was 6 pages long. And then there's a lot of that needs to be grabbed and put into other files now. Because like the party hired some people to work at their fort and whatnot. So like I need to put that information somewhere other than the session 18 notes, you know? Probably go to world building. I feel like I might just need a separate folder for Fort Leona. It's probably going to be the best bet. We'll make a new Google Doc. Just going to call it employees. Amras, I'm assuming that was a slightly delayed response to my question about what you thought of my suggestions. Okay, we have those employees, I guess. The Castellan Chatelain is not yet finalized. I'll just copy all of them and then delete the ones that we don't need. I almost wonder, should I create separate? Maybe there should be separate files for each type of hire. Yeah, that's probably better. We'll do that. that in the middle. Okay. So there's the candidates for Castellan, the candidates for butlers. I should probably put just like a general info file about the fort as well. Like, you know, not the employees, but just like fort. Just call that file like logistics. And then we'll throw. Yes, you're 65 seconds behind. Gotcha. Fort info. I both love that YouTube will let you catch up from that and also hate how often it happens on YouTube. I'm going to change this to discretionary allowance. Okay. Then while I'm doing this, I should probably go and grab, just in case anything were to happen to the spreadsheet. Well, two things. I should probably make a duplication of that spreadsheet a backup, because we've seen how easy it is for somebody to accidentally, like, you know, overwrite one of the formulas or something. Rocket. So I'll probably duplicate that file and then copy the info out of it as well. Oh, I'm just rattling your cage for messing up and having to undo your mess ups to the stronghold file with your push to talk button. Hey, reading squirrel. I'm gonna rename this actually one more time. You don't use. Oh wait, actually, but you guys can't see that folder. Never mind. That's fine. You hear lots of AI tools to help with organization. Your total scatterbrain. Trust me, I hear that. I think you may very much be among your people. I've just recently been diagnosed with ADHD, so I get it. Feel free to ask if you need me to make something to help with workflow. Well, that's super nice of you. Thank you. I may very well actually do that. I don't know if I'll be of a mind to do so right this moment, but hopefully we can stay in touch. Okay, some of the things like construction supplies and whatnot, we probably don't need here. Exactly, Amras. Oh, Rocket, do you remember what we said about the literacy of the people that you ended up hiring? I was just making that up on the fly, but it's probably good to be consistent there. We don't want to have like the quantum ogre of whether or not your hirelings can read. Can they at least count? Count probably yes. Math probably not, other than maybe a very little bit of simple addition. Man, our boy Emras is a popular one today. Busy boy. Yeah. In case I didn't say this earlier, speaking of being scatterbrained, I started to tell one. But I super appreciate that offer. That's super nice of you. The Battle Arena pre-made characters. Yes. What about them? Oop. Stable. You agree with scatterbrain? You don't remember where you were going with that? That's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. We can all just stand here and shout barely related phrases at each other. Okay. I am making progress, though, at least. Oh, shoot. But I closed the session 18 files on accident. We want to duplicate that. Make a copy. There we go. Rename. We want to call this session 19. What do I think session 19 is going to be called? Something about scouting. Location scouting, maybe. That's at least a good working title. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're okay, Amras. Thank you for coming by. I hope that your calls are productive or effective or, you know, whatever is appropriate there. And we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, it's really nice to meet you, Telwyn. And hopefully it's not too forward. And if it's not your bag, that's totally okay. But if you're enjoying your time here, we do have a Discord server that's a pretty good little community of like-minded folks that like gaming and you know, just being supportive of each other. And we do stuff beyond D&D as well, but that's obviously a big part of what we do. Of course, there's also recipes and cat pictures and whatnot. You'd be more than welcome, but like I said, no obligation. The character is appropriately fixed for the feats that are selected. Was there something wrong last time? Or are you thinking about previous times? Because last time I had done like a big remake of the characters. Oh, you weren't able to make it last time. Yes, they are. Short version. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so this weekend's session 19, update that. We will be beginning in the evening, the 4th day of late spring, 561. Will be overcast and windy, and the moon is waning. We should probably roll a little bit more weather while we're at it. I have one more. I usually try and have about 3 days ahead of time rolled out. Hey, thank you so much, Telwyn. I know that's usually a little bit on delay because YouTube's weird about that, but thank you for the new sub. Really appreciate it. You got something to look after your child and Dancing Lights and Rave song. Exactly. Who's got the glow sticks? Oh, you're good, Rocket. I did have a question for you though, if you have a second to answer it. Maybe in DM might be easier, but it's easier for me to ask here. Do you remember what I said about the literacy of your people? That wasn't something that I had thought of ahead of time. I was ad-libbing that, and so obviously while we were role-playing, I didn't really have time to write it down. And I don't think we want to have, like Schrodinger's cat of whether or not they're literate. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I'll go write that down in a minute. Oh, you know, something that might be kind of fun. Because you guys did end up swapping around to farms are an already developed income source, and then kept the mine, but as a potential needs to be developed income source, I think, right? It would be kind of fun to have to swing by some of your farms and like collect tribute. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. You guys might actually potentially want to get some documentation or something. Okay, how am I doing on time? Okay, actually, I've done better. I thought the second half of this was going to be the harder half to get accomplished, but I'm actually doing better on time with my note management than I expected, considering how much I had to get done. I'm still definitely not going to be done in 4 minutes, but I'll be done before our like true deadline, I think. Well, they presumably have still been paying some taxes anyway. You know, whether that's in form of money or supplies or whatever, it would just have been to Capstone instead of you folks. So let's see, other staff. Although it would potentially be fun to have you have to wrangle a couple people that are trying to be like off gridders, so to speak. Oh shoot. All right. Oh, I thought of a name for the group of soldiers that well, they're still really not soldiers. The group of militiamen that Alan Dite was talking to last time. You know how I am with alliteration, so I kind of had to, but it popped into my head. Really, because I just wanted to write it down in the notes that he had talked to them. I was like, well, who are these people? These are the people that like this is the remnant of Silas's division or whatever the term would be, right? Company. Probably company. Like these are the people who survived. So they should call themselves Silas's survivors. A pretty cool name, I think. We'll just put another section in the militia here for units. Let's see, how many of them were there? Well, and some more of them died later on the battlefield, right? It's actually a first name. But also I'm not familiar of anything with that as a surname. And it's Silas as well. Yeah, lots of people in our world don't have surnames. Wanted that kind of that kind of feudalistic feel. Silas Briar. Oh, yeah, true. But yeah, I think as long as the name wasn't literally Silas Briarwood spelled exactly like that, it would be fine. But I do appreciate you looking out. I'm going to say there was about a dozen of them. I don't remember exactly. It says on the screen, assign XP, catch up on notes, name tavern. The trick they use for naming taverns is living thing and object. The pig and whistle. No, I appreciate that. We didn't go in that order. So we did assign XP and name tavern first, and then we took our break, which you tuned in during the break. And then now we're doing the catching up on notes. I do super appreciate it though, and Dragon's Den is great. We ended up going with. Uh-oh. I forgot. Hold on. I did write it down. The Fool and Flask. And then also there was kind of a dive bar sort of thing that we needed to name as well. That was actually we took from a chat suggestion as the Drinking Den, often shortened to the Den. Let's see. I had a note here. Rocket, do you remember what this one was about? It said, all I wrote was dialect or language for Atfal al-Shamsi. Like, I vaguely remember talking about that, but I don't know. It's written down as if it's a note that I needed to do something for. I have any idea what we wow. Third tries the charm. What we would have needed to do. We're talking about you having another language or coming up with for it. Got it. That's probably not something I'm going to get to right now, but I will put it on my Kanban board. Okay. Thank you. Full and flash, same formula. Yeah, no, exactly. So that's a great suggestion. Or it's great that you came by and kind of reinforced the system that we ended up kind of intuitively doing. I like it. And you like the name really good. Thank you. Okay, and then copy relevant NPCs out of this file. I already did, and review the literacy of the candidates. Ooh, I should probably. I'm actually doing really good. On time. I really didn't think I was going to get through all the notes stuff. And we pretty much have. File location. I'm still getting used to working with Google Sheets for that kind of thing. I closed it on accident. Oh yeah, literacy of candidates. I literally already forgot. I was like, there was one more thing I was going to do. It's gone. Hello, Pavlov. How are you? Thanks for coming by. This was a timer that did just recently run out, but I'm happy to sit and chat for a couple minutes once we finish our work. Candidate literacy. D&D, world building, Fort Leona. We did the butlers. You're good, New Hope Hall as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been it was a little bit of a frustrating day earlier today. I have I'll talk more about this in a second, but I have a super secret YouTube project that I'm hoping to publish on Friday, and I was procrastinating on it a little bit. Let's see. How do I explain this without getting way too lost in the weeds? Essentially trying to do something in a video game that I enjoy, and takes about 30 to 45 minutes per attempt, and I failed at doing that twice. Not to mention a little bit of reset time. So I spent like an hour and a half to 2 hours that I probably should have been spending on the secret video project, doing something else. Which, so be it. We're all human, right? Sometimes we don't exactly stick to the script. But I was annoyed at myself for not doing the thing that I should have been doing, and then doubly annoyed at myself for also not even accomplishing the other thing, like the other thing that I was doing instead of the thing that I should be doing. So that was a little bit of a frustrating morning, but I'm otherwise doing okay. Otherwise fairly happy, fairly healthy. When we finish up here, actually, I'm going to go outside before the sun goes down and get a walk in, which will be nice. So I'm doing all right. That feeling all too well. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Oh yeah, and rolling weather. Okay, so our candidates for Castellan, I think they would probably all be literate, right? I think if you are essentially applying to be a Castellan and you have, relevant job experience, I think by your nature you would be literate. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write it down, but I don't think we really... I was like, maybe we should random roll for it or whatever, but no, I think they just would be literate. Oh, you're all good, Pavlov. I really appreciate you coming by. I'm actually only one thing away from being done with my work, so no worries at all. Hopefully you didn't take my being scatterbrained comment as a dig at you. That was not what it was at all. We were talking earlier with Telwyn about ADHD and whatnot. So that was more of a gentle jab at myself for getting like 80% of 4 things done, but not quite finishing any of them. But for those of you that are new here, whether you're lurking or you've been chatting, we do these streams most Wednesdays. Not quite every single one, but most Wednesdays, probably about 3 a month on average. We usually start at about 2 to 2:30 Pacific, and we go for an hour to an hour and a half. So I'm running a little bit long today, although not crazy. We just passed hour and a half, so we're pretty close. I need to snag my... Where did I put this? I thought it was in... Oh, it's probably in random charts. I should rename this folder from random encounters to random charts. I think that's probably better. Rename random charts. Charts. There we go. Type. Random weather. Hey, you guys, pick odds or evens for me. Essentially, the region where we are is right, kind of on the boundary between a temperate region and a like a cold region. Thank you, Telwyn. So I kind of alternate which weather chart I roll against. I'm not going to tell you which one was odd, but and Pavlov as well. All right, we're going with oddsies then. I do need to go and grab my dice bag, though. I'll be 10 seconds. Well, 30 seconds. All right. Also, I love this dice bag. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera. Slash, it's a little bit weathered at the top, but... Oh, yeah. You can read it pretty well. Picked that up at our local Comic-Con a couple of years back. It's kind of amusing because I usually play sorcerers and that type of character, but I just thought it was too good. Too good to not get. I mostly am going to need D100 here. Of course, I found the 10th place, but not the 1. Do the dice need to match? No. Is it going to make my little brain happy if they do? Yes. Pour the whole thing out. There it is. All right. First roll. Okay. And go. Oh, nice. Okay. That weather actually matched the placeholder that I had copy pasted. That's kind of crazy. That was the weather for the 6th day of late spring, 561. Now we're going to roll for the 7th as well. probably do the 8th just to be safe. It had been raining for like most of the last 10 day, which we had a huge battle. So we're just a few in-game days past a giant battle that we had. Our setting is kind of a low magic, low level, low power, kind of like gritty Lord of the Rings sort of D&D setting. And the frontier town of Capstone was under attack by a large orc army. So we had a huge battle with like over 1,000 orcs and over 1,000 defending humans going at it with our players, you know, helping with that defense. And it was like raining the whole time. The whole time leading up to the battle and during the battle and for a few days after the battle. So let's do the 8th day of late spring. The moon is still waning because the moon wanes until the 15th is the full moon. And okay, cool. I feel good about this. The last couple working streams we had, I was having a lot more trouble being focused, believe it or not, since I was definitely still struggling a little bit today. And I just didn't, we left those streams being way over time, and today we're only slightly over time. And not feeling accomplished either. So kind of a 1-2 punch. Today we're pretty close to our time goal, and I feel fairly accomplished. We pretty much got done everything we wanted to. So our next session is, hold on, let me double check, make sure I don't misspeak here. Yes, is this Saturday, the 9th of November. We'll be live on twitch.tv/HereThereBeMonsters at pre-show starts at about 3 o'clock Pacific. Gameplay starts at about 3:30. And then we always upload our sessions here to YouTube. Oh, that's weird. Stream Elements? Hello, there we go. We always upload our sessions to YouTube like a few days to no more than a week later. So if you're more of a YouTube kind of person, that's totally cool too. You can catch all of our sessions here on youtube.com/HereThereBeMonsters. We actually have 2 campaigns that run in our in the same campaign, in the same campaign setting at the same time. One of them we play about twice a month on Saturdays. The other one plays about once a month on Mondays. So those are separated into separate playlists. Hopefully you end up enjoying both of them, but you know, maybe you prefer, for whatever reason, one group or you know, like one group of characters over the other group of characters or whatever. You can find both of those here. And then, as I touched on earlier, hopefully, I have a super secret D&D project that we've been working on that's going to get uploaded here to YouTube that I really hope to get uploaded on Friday, like in 2 days. Eek. But if you're a subscriber here on the channel, hopefully you'll get notified about that. I don't want to spoil about what it is, but I'm so excited. We've never had an opportunity like this before when it comes to D&D or YouTube videos. So fingers crossed that I can get it done in time for my goal, and hopefully we have a good session. So I'm out of here. Like I said, we are a little bit over time, so I'm not gonna linger too long. But just wanted to say thank you all for being here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And as always, take care and be excellent to each other.